By popular demand, and by popular demand, I mean due to financial incentive, again, I'm gonna quote-unquote rebuild the Sabres. It's not as if they really need to be rebuilt. But yes, at the very least, I sold out, and that's why I'm doing this. Go figure. The rules are the same thing that they are currently for the Carolina Hurricanes. If you do not know the rules for that, on the YouTube side of things, it'll be in the description. If you're watching this on Twitch and you don't know the rules, don't worry about it. We'll get to that bridge when we cross to it, or go to the YouTube side of things, look at the most recent Carolina Hurricanes video, and you'll be able to see the entirety of the rules. That said, I think we're going to get into this because I at least want to get through one season tonight, although I'm going to pose the question right now. Do we have a goal for the season? People in chat, goal for the season. Let's go. Something realistic. I need a goal for the season, and I need a punishment if we don't hit it. Let me know. It's got to be something realistic, too. Oh, Rocco Grimaldi is the Preds' best player. Former Portland Pirate, by the way. Tookie's a sellout. I absolutely am. Oh, God. Should be a rule-breaking rule. Ryan Minister will cross that bridge when we come to it, too. Because it depends on what rule we break. Dahlin over 40 points. Make the playoffs. Playoff semifinal. Wild card berth or 90 points. Skinner to 40 goals. Skinner to 35 goals. Eichel 75 points. 50 wins. If I lose, trade Dahlin. That'd be rough. Punishment. 24-hour MLB stream. Jesus Christ, that would be a punishment. That would be a punishment. Good Lord. If you don't make the rule, you should have to give up your first round this year. It'll also be rough. Alright, so for the most part, the general consensus is at the very least make the playoffs. Make the playoffs is a very common one. And then aside from that, it's either Skinner, Dahlin, or Eichel hitting a certain point total. Alright. So I'll tell you what, the punishment should be becoming a real Sabres fan. I refuse. I'll go play MLB right now. Alright. Goal number 1 for the season. Make the playoffs. Goal number 1 for the season is going to be make the playoffs. Goal number 2, I think we'll have a team goal and an individual player goal. Flo, what's up, buddy? I think we'll have a team goal and an individual player goal. As far as the punishment, though, it's a little bit rough. I have a winning record on Sunday because fans didn't go to the Bills game instead. People go to Bills games? Since when do people go to Bills games? Why would you do that? Oh, let's watch a second place at best team on Sunday. Don't know why you'd want to do that, but okay. Oh, boy. You must use your first round pick on the person the scouts say are last in rankings. That would be a pain in the ass. Oh, God. Flo, congrats. The Bills sell out like every game. Again, my question is why? Why? That just seems like a waste. It just seems like an absolute waste. No matter what, you have to draft someone with at least 3-bar accuracy. I mean, that could be a punishment at least, but scouting-wise, we have it set up relatively well. So. It's just a question, though. How many half decent? Okay, well. Forgot about this little chestnut of having to optimize the scouting, but we're going to do that really quickly. Oh my god. Oh, this menu is so slow. It's so slow. Oh, boy. Hendog, if the Bills do dethrone the Patriots, it took you long enough. Clarify, sliders have no effect on sims, but they do affect gameplay. Correct. But again, weirdly enough, like the injury slider does affect the sim. There's so very little that you can actually have, affect the sim. There's very little control that you have over it. One good thing about MLB is the menus. By far, because this sucks. It takes so long just to optimize the scouts. It's unbelievable. Ugh. Anyway, have to do it, though. Have to do it. So, I think at the very least, we'll keep it somewhat generic. Goal for the season, as far as the team, will definitely be to be a playoff team. And then either, I think Skinner or Eichel will be like our featured player for the year. Just the big question is what the punishments are for each of those two. So we need, what's the punishment if we don't make the playoffs? What's the punishment if Skinner or Eichel don't hit whatever mark we've set for them? And also, how many? 3. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 11. Better game, MLB or NHL? In terms of what? If you want to talk about in terms of gameplay, they're about even. And that's not me being sarcastic. Oh, no playoffs, lose first rounder. Reacquire Cliff Poo. Oh, that would be great. Ah, fucking nuts, I hit the wrong button. See, this is the issue with having to decide some of this stuff. It's like, I'm just gonna have to, like, we're gonna have to, like, spin the wheel or something. Skinner doesn't hit the goal, totally you let him walk. No playoffs, lose second round pick. Dallas just scored. Zuccarello from the looks of it. Alright. So what I send out, like 12 contracts, I think it was? I don't know, I've lost. Good job noticing my birthday message. Yeah. Oh yeah, Felipe, how dare I miss one individual message in a Twitch chat when I'm focusing on the game, the chat, and a hockey game in the background. What a big piece of shit I am. I should bop you for that. Quit being selfish. No playoffs, draft all 7th rounders. That doesn't sound like very much fun. That doesn't sound like fun at all. We'll cut Setzinger. And we'll cut this guy too. And hopefully all those offers go through. Skinner misses. Boris, what's up? This isn't the most polished game. It's not. It's not. MLB is, of course, by far the most polished game in the universe. So, let me double check the roster, and then we'll confirm what a goal for the year is. Do you think Vegas will be able to keep Gusev? It depends on if he decides to stay. The playoff experience might be enough for him to be like, hey, you know what? On second thought, I want out. So. Oh, thank God. Defensively, we're already set. We don't have to make any changes there. Forward-wise, holy depth forwards, Batman. Huh. So, let's see. And then second line, third line, fourth line. Okay. I think Sobotka and Middle... So I'm going to have to send Middlestat down, which kind of sucks. But I think Sobotka will be okay to be our healthy scratch. Oh, boy. Cody, I can't keep track already of all the suggested punishments, so we'll get back to it in a second. Netminder, what's happening? So right now, Larson's a scratch. All I gotta do is replace Vladimir Sobotka with him. And this team is pretty much good to go. Except I don't want Zemgus Girgensons in the top 6. That's probably not a good idea. Let's see. Wilson, Larson. I think that's going to be the setup. Why send Casey down? Because under the rules of this series, which again, you can find in the description of the Hurricane series that I got on the YouTube side of things at the moment, I need to play players within their role, cannot play them below their role. So if there's a fourth liner, they're not allowed to be a healthy scratch. Depth forwards can be at the NHL or AHL level. So, yeah. I am, unless I make a deal, I am literally not allowed to, by the rules we've set, not allowed to play Middlestat in the NHL this season. However, he'll probably benefit more from tearing up the AHL. And we'll see what happens throughout the year. We shall see. You know what? Bump him up. Put you over there. Is Wilson a half-decent center? Yes, he is. Who's a better center between you two? We go on Larson on the left. No idea who the center is going to be for the second line. Is that going to be Okposo or Reinhart? Sorry to Sam Reinhart, but you're about to have a bad time. We go Skinner, Eichel, Pominville, Sherry, Reinhart, Okposo. That is not a very good setup. Especially if the goal for this season, which was the most, commonly mentioned thing in chat, if the goal for this season is to make the playoffs, we're in a little bit of trouble. Just a bit. Urisard. With a name like that, I immediately think Latvian. I wonder if that's correct. Dallas is a good team, but they need more stars. They sure do. They sure do. Do I want Bogosian to be the guy on the higher line? Probably not. I'll bump up McCabe. Scandella, Bogosian, McCabe, Montour, Risto, Dahlin. Yikes. Oh, this team. Oh, this team. It's not exactly ideal, is it? But the goal for this year is to make the playoffs, huh? I mean, crazier things have happened, but I'm not exactly holding my breath. Especially if I don't sit here and wheel and deal with this team a little bit. But we don't have that much room to really do anything. So that's kind of rough. But, alright, so as far as the team is concerned then, we know the goal for the season is to make the playoffs. And judging by the comments, the featured player for the season is either going to be Jack Eichel or Jeff Skinner. So it's just a matter of what we think is fair. Now, here's my proposal, right? Here's my proposal. Jeff Skinner did hit 40 goals this year. Jesus. But I guess my proposal here is, do we have Jeff Skinner hit 40? I would prefer that we have Jeff Skinner hit 30. Which, 30 itself is going to be difficult. 30 itself is going to be difficult. Players with 95 shot accuracy don't hit 30 goals. Oh, God. Split the difference, go 35 for Skinner. He won't hit 40, the sim should be like 30 or 35. Skinner to 50. I mean, who's to say? Who's to say? Sherry to hit 30 points. I mean, I hope so, but it's doubtful. He hit 40 for me in my sim. Well, you're lucky. Alright. I think we're going to Eichel to 69 points. Hilarious. Alright. So as far as the goal for the... Goal for the team this season is to make the playoffs. We're going to have the goal for Jeff Skinner be 35. 35 goals. If Skinner doesn't hit 35 goals, we let him walk. Sound fair? But what's the punishment for not hitting the playoffs with this team? That's what we need to decide on. Let me know if you think there's a better punishment for Skinner not hitting 35 goals. But I think that's relatively fair. And of course, I'm just trying to gather everything that's being mentioned. Punishment would be awesome. First rounder on the player ranked last. Trade Eichel for a 7th. Not going to do that. Lose second round pick. I'm not against losing the second round pick. The issue is here too, I'm not going to go like overly ridiculous with, hey, fuck yourself up for the next 3 years by, wasting something overly ridiculous because, of course, I haven't been able to put my own spin on this team. Lose first rounder, lose third rounder, have to trade Luukkonen. Oh, can't trade Okposo. I don't even know if I'd be able to trade Okposo without salary retention, man. Jesus Christ, that contract is so bad. Ugh. Oh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, he makes $6 million. All right. Now, I'm not wanting to sit here and pick and choose what the punishments are, but I mean technically I do anyway. All right. I think we're gonna settle for that so we can get into this. We're gonna settle for that if we can get into this. Buffalo has 3 firsts, not technically with this roster. I do believe, because of trades that were made at different times. So, technically, we are, oh no, shit, we do have 3. Okay. Fuck. Alright. Alright. If Jeff Skinner does not hit 35 goals, he walks. If we miss the playoffs, we lose a first-round pick. That's how we're going to do it. What first-round pick? Well, in fairness, I have to get rid of a first-round pick anyway if I'm doing Hurricanes rules. So, I have to lose one of those picks anyway. So I'm not sure how much of a punishment that is. Shit. Lose all 3 first. Okay, that's a bit excessive. That's a bit excessive, seeing as I haven't been able to put a spin on this team yet. Oh, boy. Alright. Lose your second rounder next year. Lose a first and a second. We miss the playoffs, we spin the wheel, randomly decides what first round pick we lose. Jeff Skinner does not hit 35 goals. We lose him, we let him walk to free agency. That's how it's being done. That's final. We randomly lose a first round pick, so there's a 33% chance, unless I end up dealing that first-round pick or a first-round pick in a trade before then, in which case I make it 50-50 odds on myself to potentially lose a half-decent lottery pick. Fail to make the playoffs, we lose a pick. First-round pick. Jeff Skinner doesn't hit 35 goals, and we lose Jeff Skinner for nothing. Yikes. Those are the ones for this season. Still need to get all these scouts set up though, but those will be the goals for the season. Skinner needs to hit 35 goals. We need to hit the playoffs. Can we say if you make it to the second round or third, you keep all the picks? No. Again, my reward for not failing a goal is that I don't have to face a punishment. I much prefer that. Much prefer that. Cody, not going to do that because I have CPU trade offers, the notifications for me off because they're terrible. So I'm not going to turn that on just for the sake of a challenge and have to turn it off. So, not going to do that. Not to mention the AI barely, Jesus Christ, Colorado just scored again. Not to mention, the AI barely send you trade offers during the draft, or at least for me. That's just how it's been. So, Calgary's goaltending's reliable, huh? That's what people told me. Was that Cale? That wasn't Cale Makar again, was it? It was Nieto. Okay. I was gonna say, someone mentioned Makar in chat. I'm like, wait a minute, that'd be outrageous. We need one more scout. Unfortunately, they're all hot garbage. We'll sign LeBeau. Hopefully that doesn't take too long to go through. Matt Nieto with another goal. Not bad. So we're listed as a rebuilder. Not really liking my my chances here of this team making the playoffs. At all. Oh, is that other scout sign? There we go. Thank you, Mr. LeBeau. So we get ready to open our season against Boston. Oh, God. We're going to have a rough season. We are going to have a rough season. Michalski. Alright, you're good in the O. That's fine. Are you good in US Central? You're better in US East. You know, I don't really care, though. Screw it. It's fine the way it is. Calgary scores immediately. What the hell? NHL Central, NHL Metro, one of you two have to change. I'm not going for full optimization here because, I mean, god damn it takes forever. You really should be able to just optimize having scouts be placed in their best location and then being able to adjust it from there. Or at least be able to choose, right? Like, it needs to be easier to optimize where these scouts go. I need an NHL Atlantic scout. Do we have an A or an A plus anywhere? I saw there was someone with an A. No A pluses anywhere. So you're going to the NHL Atlantic. Cale Makar. It's nuts. Remember when they picked Cale Makar and people were like, oh, I don't know about that. It's worked out pretty good. In fairness, people are right to kind of question it just because of the league that he came from when he was drafted, but goddamn. He is a monster. Do I want AHL scouts? Probably. Let's see, we have AHL North. Anybody good? AHL Pacific. Holden Michalski. Holden Michalski. You get to go to the fine world of the AHL Pacific. Let's see, we have AHL North, AHL Pacific. God damn it, Nats fan, thank you for the follow. So I need Central and Atlantic. You get to go AHL Central. The joys of setting all this up. And I need AHL Atlantic. I mean, that's one way for Sam Bennett to, you know, win over the Calgary fan base. He might not be, you know, exactly what you'd want him to be for where he was drafted, but damn it, he can grow a Lanny-esque mustache, so get off his back. Get off his back. Alright, let's see. All that's good. Alright. We have a W. I don't even care if these scouts aren't great at where they are. They're staying. We have US Central. I need a US East and a US West. So Tabby can go to US East. The joys of setting this up. It takes 6 years. We're getting through it, though. And then US West. It's going to be you, Rainier Bacher. And then we focus on the Euros. US West. Alright. So we got DEL, SHL, Liga. We're missing Swiss League. Which this guy's pretty good at. An A rating, in fact. Alright. Let's see. What league are we missing here? Got Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, Russia. Allsvenskan isn't really worth it. Rest of world isn't worth it this year. I could send a... Do I have an extra Liga scout? I don't. No, I don't. Okay, cool. So, extra Liga... this dude, Kabanov. Kabanov! You go scout at the Czech League and we're golden. Oh, God. Oh, East. I thought you said West. Indeed. Alright. So, I don't know if I want to make a trade immediately. I feel like I probably should. Because, Jesus, is this team not going to be good. Unless we get some of that beautiful, beautiful EA Sim magic. But, we'll go for it. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? I fail the goal and lose a first-round pick? Let's sim the opening month, and we'll see if I end up having to panic stop it. What'd you get hurt in practice? Jesus. Nothing like losing Jake McCabe at the first game of the season. Here we go. Here we go. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. Oh, boy. Well, congratulations to the pilot. Actually, I'm going to call it Matt Tennyson instead. Matt Tennis Balls. Call him up instead. You don't play the games. Hell no. It'll take too long. Oh, God. Alright, so I got to go best lines there. Yeah, Montour can be on the top line. And then this offense, again, is just a disaster. I gotta call Larson back. Oh my God, yes, just replace him. Thank you. I'm trying to remember exactly how I had the bottom 6 set up. I think it was like that, though, to be honest. Alright, and then down in the AHL, I don't believe we have anybody who's a healthy scratch that shouldn't be. Johansson's 23, but only a 68, so he's never going to develop, so we might as well have him as a healthy scratch. Defensively, do love me some Jack Doherty, Nathan Page, Bryson Martin, Devontae Stevens. I'm going to call you Juster. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, we don't really have anybody to worry about there. And I'm just double-checking forward-wise that I don't have anybody that's scratched that shouldn't be. And we do. Alright, well, they're going to be healthy scratches until people are back to 100%, because otherwise, my God, the amount of lineup management. So we'll see what happens. Did you sign Patrick Seeloff to injure all your players in practice? Turn on injuries. It makes it more difficult. Does it? I think it makes it more tedious. The good thing is Jake McCabe is back. So we have that going for us. We have that going for us. Vladimir Sobotka. Get the hell out of my lineup. Please. Thank you. The defense is fine. And again, we're good. Thank God. Oh, boy. Do mid-season resign. I know. Jesus. I don't need to be... I appreciate it. I'm well aware of mid-season resignings. The problem is, I don't know if I'm actively going to tank this deal of, oh, if it's very evident we're not making the playoffs, there's a really good chance I just trade people away. Can we put the sliders down on 1? I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible idea, would it? Haven't seen this many Sabres go down since Red Dead 2. And before you play Stevens, it becomes an NHL All-Star. These are incredibly minor injuries as well. It's incredible. Player morale. Boy, it seems like everyone's dying. Am I gonna be next? Hi, Jack. How you doing? Oh, nice to know you're a cocky little shit. Well, you know, I'm just gonna go demanding every time. No, wow, he's the rare player that actually still loses it on demanding. That's okay. Injured stomach. You know. Danny O'Regan down in the AHL is hurt. Matt Hunwick is hurt. I put it down to 30 out of 50. And it's still absolutely outrageous. Oh, boy. Pilot, congratulations. And, I'm gonna call up Casey Nelson, too. Just in case somebody else gets hurt. Good Lord. The amount of injuries. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this season without turning it down. We're gonna say this lineup is fine, because who cares? The defense is fine. Tennyson's a healthy scratch. We're fine. Everything's fine, as half of my team is in the goddamn hospital right now. Not worried about the draft class. Alright, Dahlin's back. I thought that was going to be another injury, to be honest. Let's send down Tennis Balls. Not really too worried about losing him. Go best lines again. Had to take out Vladimir Sobotka again. Had Larson back to the lineup every goddamn time. Oh, boy. There we go. It's a little bit better. We are just over 2 weeks into the season. And I've had to deal with this many injuries. It's outrageous. We might lose Nelson. We might lose the pilots. Actually, yeah, both are waiver eligible. That would suck. But, so be it. Actually, they're both getting sent down. And we didn't lose either of them, so that's nice. Dodged that bullet. Hunwick and Saboka with all these scratches. I'll go best lines there. I don't even know if I dare fix the AHL lineup. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I dare fix this lineup. It's gonna be problematic. Dalton Smith. Yannick Veilleux is not worth worrying about. Eric Cornell. We might as well get into the lineup. Malone. Tyler Randall, I love you, but you need to take a seat. Ogilvy I'm not gonna put in, but Rasmus Asplund needs to play. So we'll handle it that way. Let's see if we can get through the next week of the season without another injury. Colorado just scored again. Good Lord. Hickey's hurt down in Rochester. Not too concerned about that. Hunwick's 100%. And, you know, fun fact. Despite the injuries, we are 7-3-2 on the season. We might not have to panic just yet. I can't help but wonder where Jeff Skinner is. He's not leading the team in points, but where is he in goals? If Eichel's on 13 assists, I'd like to think Skinner could be looking... You know, Jeff Skinner might hit 35 goals this year. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Thoughts on Mitch Marner? Great player. Not PLR, though, because Mike Babcock is over party. Why is Mike Smith still in goal? He's getting Patrick Watt. Alright, I guess we'll sim another month. Keep seeing how it goes. You just jinxed it. I know. That's the plan. Tell the game to bring it on. Middlestat goes down to injury. That's unfortunate. He's not going to be out for too long, though. We then lose back-to-back games to Ottawa, so figure that one out. 3-2 and 3-1. Okay, not exactly off to a hot start this month. Have you tried not completely sucking, Buffalo? Have you tried that? Okay. We're 1-7 to start the month. So, I'm going to lose a first-round pick, aren't I? I'm going to lose a first-round pick, aren't I? Jesus. We are at least 6 points, or 5 points at least, out of a playoff spot. Jeffrey has 12 goals in 20 games, so he's at least still on a good pace. Oh, God. I mean, Wilson's doing all right. Thompson has 6 goals, 7 points for Ellie. 8 points there. Only 4 goals for Johan Larsson, but 9 points, 7 points. All right, we're going to bump up Tage Thompson, I think. Maybe. Yeah, I think we will. See how that goes. Second line, Sherry has 7 points. Okay, so I have to play Sam Reinhart on that top line. Pominville's doing all right. Ah! Jeez Christ. Well, that's worst case scenario now, isn't it? So technically I can't play him below the third line, but I don't have to play him on the second. So, You know, Tage Thompson's scoring goals. We'll try Sherry, Reinhart, and Thompson. I really want to get Reinhart on that top unit, but at the very least, he's there on the power play. So that's fun. I can't drop Okposo or Rodriguez below the third line, though. Rodriguez with 9 points. Ugh. Let's go Rodriguez, Gergensen, Okposo. We'll see if those changes are helpful. So I can't help but think we're going to try to trade. There was no rule against it. I can't help but think. Now, in fairness, the one thing I did not do was turn off... Actually, have there been any major trades? Have there been any major trades? Because the one thing I did with Carolina was turn off trading. I'm honestly going to do that again. As rough as this is going to be for me, it would be too easy to trade Kyle Okposo this season. I am going to turn off trading for everybody for this first season. Waivers will still be on. But I am going to turn off trading until after the deadline. And we'll deal with it. We're going to leave the teams as they were. There weren't any major free agents to sign anyway. Let's just get through this season, much like we did with Carolina. And we'll deal with the consequences of however badly this team decides to perform in Season 1. That is making things difficult for me for the sake of making things difficult. However, that is the point. Which is why we implemented these rules in Carolina. And why I'm going to implement these rules now. Because otherwise, if I have free reign to do whatever I want, it gets into super team territory within like 2 seasons. My God, we're terrible. So we're going to have to lose a first round pick. And if Skinner doesn't hit 35, we let him go to free agency. Oh, God. Go best lines there again. Make that change, Sherry. And Thompson. Nope. Oh, my God, the menu lag is so bad. Ugh. It's so bad. There we go. It's a little bit better, at least. Okay. So we're going to lose a first round pick. That's fine. Scandella's 100%. Hooray. I forgot about the whole turning off trades thing at the beginning, so it's pretty nice though. It's a nice little way to just add a little bit more frustration. Oh God. See, I guess the real question, and yeah, I'll have to double check. I don't think I'll be allowed to trade Okposo. Sam Reinhart's hurt, so kill me, please. I'm gonna double check Buffalo. Oh my God, Okposo, Skinner, and Pominville. Well, then again, for Skinner and Pominville, it's not a big deal. But yeah, Okposo has a modified no trade. And so does Matt Mollison, but his contract's up at the end of the year. So yeah, it's only Okposo's deal that I have to worry about. It is a modified no trade clause. Yikes. Yikes. So yeah, he's going nowhere. He is going nowhere. By our rules, I'm gonna have a rough time trading him. Only way I'm allowed to trade him is if we're not in the playoffs, but of course I've turned trades off for the first season to make sure that rosters don't drastically change. So, yeah, Kyle Okposo is going to be here until at the very least next trade deadline. So, buckle up. He's going nowhere. Oh, God. I'm not even worried about fixing the lines right now because it doesn't matter with the injuries. When did Matt Mollison become good? About 6 years ago. which is right about the same time he stopped being good. Funny enough. We are on an absolutely horrific losing streak right now. So that's fun. I'm just going to let Saboka stay in. I wouldn't necessarily define that as breaking a rule for this year. It's more out of convenience. At the end of the day, he probably shouldn't even be listed as a depth forward. He should be listed as a fourth liner. So, just for the sake of being able to get through this in a somewhat, decent amount of time, let's just get through the season. Deal with the fact that we're not going to be a playoff team and hope to God Jeff Skinner scores 35 goals. That's the only way we're going to have success this year, is if Skinner hits 35 goals and I'm allowed to bring him back. But if I have to lose Jeff Skinner for free, that is a major, major problem. Not to mention all these goddamn injuries. Rasmus Dahlin just got hurt for the second time this year. This time with a broken foot. I call it a hunch. I don't think I'm supposed to be successful this year. Just call that a hunch. Methinks we're not supposed to be... Jesus Christ on a bicycle. Yeah, we might have to lower the injury slider again at this rate, huh? This is rough. Makar stays in the NHL next year. Do you think he'll do well? He's going to stay in the NHL next year. There's no way you burn a level of his ECL and then don't have him, or his ELC, and have him not play in the NHL next year. The only way he doesn't play in the NHL next year is if he looks absolutely horrific through like the first 20 games of the season. Who should the Avs take in the upcoming draft? It depends on who Chicago takes. They could use a forward, they could use a defenseman, so it's very much up in the air. Alright, I gotta call up a forward. It's not going to be Middlestat. Taylor Lear's up to a fourth line guy, but I don't really have to worry about that. Again, I only play players in their role based off the start of the season. So, congratulations to Matt Molson. Gotta call him up, see what he can do. Maybe play him with Eichel. Who knows? It could be fun. Oh, sure. Player morale. Player morale. Molson, what's up, buddy? You won't regret it. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. Oh, I'm glad you're excited, Matt. Too touchy-feely. That's fine. Glad you're excited, buddy. It's your last ride in the show. I'm glad you're happy about it. We started off so well through the opening 12 games of the season. From there, just done. Just done. Like, my God. Oh, Kevin Porter's hurt. Thank God I can just go best Lions with basically everybody. Oh, boy. Molson already had low chemistry with Ellie Montour and Wilson. I mean, it's just something about Matt Molson. Don't know what it is. Oh, my God. So, yeah, Season 2, I think I'll lower the sliders a little bit more. I don't remember what we have the injury slider set to for the Hurricane series, but I could have sworn this, it's either this or it's a little bit lower. So I just don't get it. But again, trades are off for all teams for Season 1 just to try and keep the rosters accurate, so we're just going to go through the rest of this season. I almost don't want to know how many goals Jeff Skinner has. I almost don't want to know. I'd rather have it be a surprise. Because we already know that we're going to randomly lose one of our first-round draft picks. Which, in fairness, I had to lose one anyway. The problem is, rather than it being, oh, we made the playoffs and I have to, rather than it being we made the playoffs and I have the choice of where to send that first-round pick, I'm not really going to have an option. So, if you get what I mean by that, if we made the playoffs, I was still going to have to move a first-round pick because I'm only allowed 2 picks per round at max, much like we're doing in the Hurricane series. Of course, same rules. So, that would have sucked. I was going to have to move a pick anyway, but because we're failing the challenge, the way I see it is I just randomly trade this first-round pick to a team for like a 7th Or a player with an expiring contract, and then I just let go of that player. Jack Eichel just got hurt, so if you thought, hey, you might make the playoffs because of all those OTLs. No. That is not going to happen. Although we've won a decent amount here. Tennis Balls is hurt. We do have some players back. I actually do want to take a look at the lines, I think. Let's see how close one Jeff Skinner is. Eichel's nearly point a game, which is pretty nice. We are currently 12 points back of the Bruins for third place in the Atlantic. Please have like 30 goals already. Please. Again, Jeff Skinner needs to hit 35 goals this season, or we let him walk. 26. He is 9 goals away with 66 games played. I don't care about team depth. Have Sam Reinhart be on that top line. Put up points, fellas. Put up points. Holy Pominville. What the fuck? 21 goals. Jesus, do I put Pominville on the top line instead? My God. Okposo's up to 14 goals. I almost feel like... Actually, no. Pominville might take goals away from Skinner. So I think it's better to have Reinhardt as the dish machine there. Jesus. And Wilson and Larson are healthy scratches, but for this season... Yeah, I will actually send down Molson still to try and stick to the goal, stick to the goals on that one. So Molson, you're going back down. And I mean, technically, I am going to send down Saboka and hope that he gets claimed. It's a dangerous move. I don't think it matters too much, though. Like, you've seen that I've tried to fix the lines whenever the hell an injury happens, so leaving Saboka in, it's like, who gives a shit? Jason Pominville, ladies and gentlemen. The middle stat's up to an 80. So he'll be good to go for next year, for sure. But let's see what one Jeff Skinner can do here, shall we? I'm a little bit worried. If we have to trade a first-round pick for nothing and we lose Jeff Skinner, we're going to be behind the 8 ball for this next season. Colorado nearly scored again. Jesus. The only thing that could possibly save us is a hot streak to end the season and those overtime losses. I'm going to much rather trade a first-round pick and actually be able to, get something meaningful back. So making the playoffs is crucial for us. And if we can still pick up points here, I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility. There might be a late comeback here. There might be a late comeback on the cards. Losing to Montreal doesn't help. Losing Bogosian doesn't help. Beat New Jersey. Beat Ottawa. I don't want to, sound a false alarm here. Because we just lost 2 in a row. Make that 3 in a row. We have 3 games left. We're not going to make the playoffs. It takes 87 points. Yeah, we're 10 points out of a playoff spot. We're done. So, we are guaranteed to lose a first-round pick. The big question is Jeff Skinner. 3 games left, 3 goals away. Jeff Skinner needs 3 goals in his final 3 games, or we let him walk in the offseason. 3 goals away. I wonder if Reinhardt's scoring too many goals. Okposo's rebounded very well. 18 points, 19 points, only 14 for Ellie. How has healthy scratch Larson done? 4 points, 38 games. Jesus. Rodriguez. I can't drop him any lower than that. Saboka has 25 points. We'll keep him there. Connor Sherry with 34 points. Pominville with 52. 33 for Gergensons. Not bad. I would still put... And Evan Rodriguez, though, too. Jesus, 38? The team's done well. I can actually just go best lines. The team is fine the way it is. They've actually been scoring. Alright. Jeff Skinner needs 3 goals in 3 games. Or he walks in the offseason. We host Nashville. Let's see what can happen. Come on, Jeff Skinner. Knucklehead, what's up, buddy? First period. Come on, Skinner. Skinner! Fuck. We lose 3-1. Eichel scores the only goal. Jeff Skinner needs 3 goals in 2 games. We play Ottawa and Detroit. The Red Wings are actually somehow battling for a wild card spot. Ottawa is worse than us in the standings, not by, actually by a lot. Ottawa has 56 points. Who says this game isn't realistic? Come on, Skinner. We need a big game here. Save your career in Buffalo, please. First period. Risto. Second period. Skinner gets a goal. Okay, come on. Come on, Jeffrey. Third period. Jeff Skinner needs 1 goal in 1 game to stay in Buffalo. How did he not get a hat trick when we scored 4 goals in the third period? Oh my god, I thought he had it. When I saw we scored 4 goals, I thought he had it. Connor Sheary, have yourself a day. Jeff Skinner needs 1 goal in 1 game. It comes down to the last game of the season. He had a three-point game. So Knucklehead, we're playing this by Hurricanes rules. So we decided at the beginning of the year that Jeff Skinner needs to hit 35 points this season, or 35 goals this season. If he does not, he walks in the offseason. The team also had to make the playoffs, or I lost a first-round pick. We're not making the playoffs. So we're already going to be losing a first-round pick, of which we have 3. The issue now is that Jeff Skinner needs to score against Detroit. If he does not, he walks. I won't even be allowed to negotiate with him. Final game of the season. We couldn't have it be 30. Hey, if it was 40, he would have been gone for sure. So 35 turned out to be the right idea. First period. Tyler Bertuzzi. Second period. If we lose Jeff Skinner and a first-round pick, this whole little quick rebuild is gone. Third period. Come on, Skinner. Come on, Skinner. 1 goal. I don't even care if we lose. Just score a goal. No, not Saboka. Not Wilson either. Where's Skinner? Skinner? Power play. Skinner? Skinner? No. Even if he scores in overtime, it counts. It's 35 goals. Even if he scores in a shootout, I'm counting. Fuck it. Skinner, I believe in you. I believe in you. You can do this, Jeffrey. You can do this. I'm not playing the game. It's CPU versus CPU. Come on, Jeffrey. Good old Jeffrey. Hands aren't on the controller, peeps. Hands aren't on the controller. Come on, Jeffrey. Eichel. Down low to Skinner. Larkin's there. Damn it, Mantha. Come on, Risto. We need a big play here. Eichel. Nice block. Way to go, Risto. Eichel, get it to Jeffrey. Jeffrey! Come on, Jeffrey! No, don't pass it. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a real 5 minutes, too. Dylan Larkin scores. Deeks Ristolainen out of his jock. Jeff Skinner will be leaving Buffalo in the offseason because Rasmus Ristolainen cannot defend. He needed 35 goals. He finishes the season with 34 as Ristolainen watches Dylan Larkin because, you know, that's how this game works. I swear to God, that's the first thing I'm going to do if I get to Vancouver. Is, hey, let's watch whatever NHL 20 is. Let's watch the AI play, and then we can decide if it looks good from there. Letting Skinner walk. It's happening. Thomas Vanek also scored or had 2 assists in that game. So yeah, Jeff Skinner will be leaving the team. And we're losing a first-round pick. Neely? No, I am not allowed to re-sign him. I am not allowed to re-sign him. He's leaving. I mean, if he hits free agency, well, like within free agency, even then, that's... He finished 1 goal short. The initial goal was 40. Oh, God. Dunno, thank you for removing that bop. 68 points. Would have finished with 69. It just wasn't meant to be. Thank God we didn't say 40. Had we said 30, it would have been fine. But we fall short. Eichel led this team with 69 points in 73 games. Carter Hutton was not good. Ullmark was okay as a backup. Pretty good, actually. Montour with 37 points, 19 for Ristolainen. Scandella with 17. Dahlin only 15 points in 55 games in an injury-prone rookie season. Hunwick had to play 39 games because of all the injuries. Eichel and Reinhart both finished with 69 points. Skinner with 68, but he was 1 goal short. Jeff Skinner will be leaving. Damn it. He took almost 300 shots, too. Pominville had a great season. I don't know if we'll be looking to bring him back. It depends on if he retires. Rodriguez was pretty good. Sheary was okay. Gergensen's had a great season compared to what you would expect. Opozo, Saboka. Saboka had 28 points in 56 games. That's not too bad. And then Johan Larsson was just the drizzling shits. He was so bad. Around the league, Patrick Kane, 102 points. Ovi put up 63. There's no players there where you're looking like, that's unrealistic. They're all big names, at least. Ovi, 63 goals. Kane with 56. Then Stamkos, Sagan, and Carter, the only players to break 40 aside from that. Gallagher, Besser, Matthews, and Goodrow also up there. Amongst the goaltenders, Freddie Anderson was the winningest. Best save percentage belongs to Tuukka Rask. Although, yeah, Jesus Christ, Tuukka was a monster. Although Brian Elliott had a very respectable season as well. Price, Vasilevsky, and Anderson. And then for rookie skaters, Elias Pettersson's going to win the Calder. 79 points in 82 games. Kokaniemi, Howden, Kachuk, Andreas Janssen, and Colin White all broke 50. How much growth did Middlestat get? We will check at the end of the season, once everything's finalized. Any goalie goals? Too late to check. No longer care. Hold team meeting. Not going to hold a team meeting unless you force me to. Although my general rule is if I ever see that it says, hey, hold a team meeting, I'd normally hold one. I'm incredibly disappointed. Oh, God. We need to be better. Jack Eichel's the only guy who's like, nah, we don't need to be better. I'm great. Santa, no trades in the first season. I turn off trades so that the rosters stay accurate. So we will not be putting our spin on this team until this offseason begins. So, playoffs. I guess I didn't really look at the season standings. It's going to be Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas, Winnipeg, Calgary, Anaheim, San Jose, Colorado. In the East, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Washington, New York, Tampa, Boston, Toronto, and Columbus. Mixwell, thank you for the follow. If Bennington gets the Calder, I'll jump off a small ledge. Well, now we'll leave it up to a, now we'll leave it up to a surprise. So the Metro went to Washington. Pittsburgh, Philly, New York, and Columbus obviously made it. It was close, though. Carolina, New York, and New Jersey, all 2 to 3 points out. The Atlantic, Toronto ended up winning it. Detroit did pretty well. Then obviously Ottawa was just awful. Central went to Dallas. Minnesota missed out. Minnesota and Nashville both missed out on the playoffs by a point or two. And in the Pacific, it wasn't really close aside from the top 3. Brutal year for Vegas, but they never do well for some reason. Don't understand it. It's just how the sim goes. You'd think they do relatively well with the offense that they have. Fleury and goal, but not quite. The Rochester Amherst actually made the playoffs, but I'm not going to bother following along unless they make it to the next round. Beer, thank you for the follow. Alex Nylander goes down to injury. And, well, okay, maybe they didn't make the playoffs. Maybe it's just the end of the year. It might have just been the end of the year for them. I'm not too worried about Rochester, I gotta be honest. Not too worried. So again, because of our goals we set at the beginning of the season, we are going to be losing a first-round pick for nothing, and we will not be re-signing Jeff Skinner. Oh, God. Whew. Meantime, at least I get to keep an eye on Nashville, Dallas, even though I'm kind of rooting for Dallas to win. Because the old bunch of horse shit, Sagan and Ben. Tampa wins the Cup. Iowa wins the Calder Cup. The memes are on point from EA. The Lightning swept Boston, swept Toronto, beat Philly in 5, and then beat Winnipeg in 5 in the Cup final. Philly made the conference final, beating Pittsburgh and Washington. Right. Again, we know their team would be the same. I can double check how good certain players did, but we, yeah. So, like, Stamkos had 20 points. He led the way. Obviously, the teams stay the same. Award-wise, Patrick Kane wins the Art Ross. Hart to Ovechkin. Norris to Morgan Riley. I can see that. Lady Bing to Kane. Calder to Pedersen. Vasilevsky won the Conn Smythe. Elliott the Vezina. Jennings to Vasilevsky. Radko Gudas the Masterton. Nothing says sportsmanship like Radko Gudas. The Selke to Ryan O'Reilly. Ted Lindsay to Goodrow. And Ovechkin the Rocket Richard. Down in the AHL, Conacher scored the most points and was league MVP. Ryan Kuffner scored the most goals. Best rookie was Tyler Benson. Best defenseman, Ryan Murphy. I believe that's Landon Bow as top goaltender, or Bo. Andrew Hammond was MVP of the playoffs. And, of course, those final 3 awards are just randomly generated. Tampa swapped with their real-life counterparts. That they did. Season 1 comes to a close. We get to our first off-season, which, again, we do have certain limitations here as well with the trade rules and everything. I'm just going to go through it. Anybody who doesn't know the rules that I'm using, again, just ask away. I'll explain if I need to. We got the number 2 overall pick. And there is a chance I'm going to have to trade it. Vancouver won a lottery, by the way. But so did we. We move up to the number 2 overall pick. And there is a 33% chance that I am going to have to trade away that pick for absolutely nothing. Oh, God. All right. Okay. Fuck. Again, there is a 33% chance I'm going to have to trade away that pick. Vancouver bias confirmed, right? So if you look throughout the league, we finished 27th, but we moved up. Ottawa, Florida, Arizona, Vegas, and then us at 27th. So here's the deal. Because of the goal that we set at the beginning of the season, we were not a playoff team. We have 3 first-round picks. We are going to go randomly spin a wheel. and see if we have to trade it. Now, Chara retires despite the contract extension. Colin and Kunitz also call it a career. And then goaltenders, Roberto Luongo and Antiniemi both retire in year 1. Shit. All right. So the good news is we get to go to the lovely world here soon, known as Wheel Decide. So we know we have 3 first-round picks, right? We know that we do. So we get to go to the fine world of Wheel Decide. Oh, God. So we're either going to have to trade our highest first-round pick, the middle pick, or the lowest pick. Obviously, this is the one we do not want to see, because that will result in us losing the number 2 overall pick. This is, again, because we failed our goal for the season and did not make the playoffs, as decided by you guys, pretty much. Pray to God it lands on middle or lowest. If it lands on highest, we lose the number 2 overall pick. So, I think we can just fold the franchise. I think we can just fold the franchise. I think that's fair. Oh, boy. All right. Well, let's see if I can dig myself out of this issue. Trades are back on. This series is really about to get underway. Okay. So, to the draft we go. Oh, God. I don't know what team to pick, though. I suppose, you know what, we're going to go back to the wheel. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to, randomly put every team name on the wheel, spin it, and see what team gets this pick. I think that'll be the best way to do it. So we have Boston, we have Detroit, we have Florida, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa. Oh my God, for some reason this isn't working correctly. Boston. Oh God. Detroit. Please tab work correctly. Thank you. Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa, Toronto, Carolina, Columbus, New Jersey, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washing Machine, Chicago, Colorado, Dallas. Oh, God. Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Anaheim, Arizona, Calgary, Edmonton, the Los Angeles Kings, San Jose Sharks, Vancouver Canucks, and the Vegas Golden Knights. So yet again, we go back to the lovely world of the wheel. Whatever team this lands on is who gets the number 2 overall pick. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who just won the Stanley Cup, will be getting the number 2 overall selection. Well, Tampa, let's talk. So we lose this pick. because of the rules you guys set at the beginning of the season, and I get to trade that pick to the Stanley Cup winning division rivals Tampa Bay Lightning. I am going to take probably... I can either take a nobody that they're not going to re-sign or a 7th round pick. And I'd probably... You know what? They want to trade this guy, so I don't think he'll be re-signing. Dominic Machine, I believe it is. I know that's not his actual potential. So that's who we're going to trade it for. We have the 21st and the 29th overall selections aside from this. This is our punishment for not making the playoffs. And of course, we'll just release this dude. There you go, Tampa. There you go. That number 2 overall selection is gone. So, from here, what's our draft pick situation? Oh, boy. That's harsh. So how many picks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the rules are as followed. I have to take one of each player type. Left wing, center, right wing, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender, and from there I have a free pick. I'm only allowed 7 picks per draft. I'm only allowed to move up once and trade down once. So we will probably keep both first-round picks rather than trading down for a second. But I think I'll probably use a 6th and a 7th to just try and trade up into the 6th round yet again, as Nashville has beaten Dallas. Damn. Alright. I think that's going to be the best way to handle it. More than likely. Yeah, it's going to be the best way to handle it. I'll try and move up in the 6th round. That's about all I can do. No point in trying to trade down to the 2nd round. Oh, God. As far as trading players, I mean, I'm allowed to do that as much as I want. It's just whether or not there's really anybody I'd want to trade. I mean, Carter Hutton's going to stay. Hutton's pretty much staying until Luukkonen's good to go. Allmark will probably be re-signed. I think our goaltending situation's pretty much going to stay the same for next year. Defensively, again, we're pretty much good to go. At least in terms of anything we could look to do here. The only real option would be to try and trade Bogosian, which I don't think is going to be possible. I don't think it's going to be possible to get rid of Bogosian and Scandella. We are pretty much stuck with the defenseman that we have, although if I want to bring in a free agent defenseman, I either have to let go of Jake McCabe or make a trade here, and letting go of Jake McCabe probably isn't the worst idea. He did not have a very good season. He's not going to get that much better in terms of overall. So I think I'm going to let McCabe walk in the offseason, and we'll try to bring in a big-time defenseman. And forward-wise, I mean, it's going to be a mess anyway. Like, I can try to trade Kyle Okposo, but that's so incredibly unlikely. Like, so incredibly unlikely. I guess the only thing I'm really debating right now is whether or not it's worth, using those 2 first-round picks to trade up. Would I rather have 1 better first-round pick or 2 decent first-round picks? Especially when it's a draft that I'm obviously very familiar with, having edited the overalls and potentials and everything. Obviously, Nico Hall's computer generated. Skinner hit 34 goals, so he'll be walking in the offseason. Now, the issue here, if I wanted to try and trade up, is that if a team does not want to trade up, there's nothing we can do. Am I being toxic if I say go Leafs go? No. I don't care. Like, we'll be able to trade to, like, maybe a top 10 pick if a team wants to get rid of it. So I think we're pretty much stuck with the picks that we have, which is fine. Yeah, if a team like Detroit doesn't want to do anything, there's nothing I can do. I think we're going to keep both picks. Because if these teams don't want to trade, I got nothing I can do. So, let's sim to our first pick. As far as any trades, again, I don't believe there's anything I can do. I mean, I have the option to try and retain salary with Okposo, as he's obviously the one contract I would absolutely prefer to get rid of, but he has no value whatsoever. And even retention-wise, I don't think a team's going to go for it. I think Okposo is buyout or nothing. And as it is, he also has a no-movement clause, or no trade clause, so technically I'm not allowed to deal him unless we're out of the playoffs. So, yeah, he stays for now. Yeah, we're just going to keep the roster the same for the moment. Again, the only other guys I'd like to potentially get rid of would be Bogosian and Scandella. But it's not necessarily... I don't even know if it's necessarily worth retaining salary for them. They might as well just be my overpaid third pairing next year. I think we're fine. Let's make these picks. Again, 7 picks per draft. No more than 2 picks in the same round. And I'm not allowed to scroll down either, and I'll show you what I mean by that if you're not aware. If you haven't been following the Hurricane series on the YouTube side of things, I'll show you what I mean by that. Podkolzin goes to Florida, Doc, Cousins, Bowen Byram to LA, Boldy, Helmerson's generated Berberg, Zegras, Turcotte, Peyton Krebs, Ryan Suzuki, Raphael Lavoie, Alex Newhook, Cole Caulfield, Robertson, Soderstrom, Cam York. Let's see who's here. Again, I am not allowed to scroll down. I have to choose from the list of players that are here. That way, I cannot lamp life. Lamp life. With the sub and follow simultaneously. Gotta love it. I'm not allowed to scroll down because it's far too easy to just sort by potential and take all the best players. So we have Ilya Nikolaev, we have Moritz Seider, Artur Kaliev, Ville Heinola, Nolan Foote, Bobby Brink, or Jakob Pelletier. And I mean, I think Nolan Foote's on the fringe of being low. He has a Lucic comparison. I mean, I'm fairly well aware of what we're looking at here player-wise. Good old German defenseman Moritz Seider. Kaliev, no comparison. I'll actually take a look at player stats for the hell of it. 10 points in Russia, 5 points in Germany. Kaliev had a pretty good season in the O. I'm not against taking Kaliev as our right-wing option. Also, our scouts have him potentially as high as 17. I think I'm going to go for Kaliev. Any objections? He's not going to be medium elite, obviously. But I remember someone suggesting I can only take players that I actually have, like, good scouting info on, but, you know, that would leave us with Nikolaev, Seider, and Heinola, and down the stretch, that would be very difficult. Oh, boy. Let's take Kaliev. Kaliev is our right-wing selection. We have another first-round pick. So Poulin, Heinola, Pelletier, Brink, Foote, Seider, and Nikolaev are all off the board. Who else is here? Hello, Leidecker. Tobias Bjornfot, Thomas Harley, Pavel Dorofaev, Nils Höglander, Jalen Jennings, who is probably going to be the pick as he is computer-generated, Oleg Datsuk, and Andrew Leidecker. I mean, we've had experiences with the Leidecker before. What overall is he? We have Fog of War on, so we're not going to know. And Jalen Jennings, I mean, off of the potential, I have to take him. Leidecker as an elite shooting gem is pretty nice, but obviously we're going to take Jalen Jennings. So that is a center and a right wing pick decided. So we have 2 draft picks done. I'm only allowed 5 more in this draft after missing out on Capo Caco. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So again, I still need to look to trade up. I still have to look to trade up. So I might try to use those 2 6th-round picks to move up to the 5th round. I'm going to see if I can do that. Let's just say make a deal with Anaheim. So if they take that, I'm good with it. Yeah. So these will be our final picks of the draft. We have 5 more picks. 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, a 5th and a 7th. And then we're done with this draft. Latico will have a whaler of a time. Very true. Still miss that Whaler series sometimes. Alright, so we go all the way to the 3rd round. Ah, that hurts my soul. Let's see, rest of the 1st round, Harley and Bjorn fought. Spencer Knight goes to Arizona. The good thing is, because of this draft, certain names fall to the 3rd round when they probably shouldn't. Constantino, D'Amico, Grayson Ladd, Ben Brinkman. Now 3rd round, who else? Any other familiar names? We get the 5th pick of the 3rd round. We do have a fight going. Center and right wing have been taken thus far. I have to take players in this group. So it's not worth taking a center, it's not worth taking a right wing, we're taking a defenseman. So it's either going to be Nathan Staios, Christopher Mercier-Ortiz, or Alfred Barkland. And I think just off of the name, I'm going to go for Nathan Staios. It's Steve Staios' kid. I'm going to go for Nathan Staios. Again, trust me, I know you can exploit the draft. I have these rules in place so that I don't exploit the draft. We'll take Staios. So we've taken a center, a right wing, and a defenseman. We need a left wing, another defenseman, and a goaltender. We move up again. 4th round. Hoping for a left wing or a goalie. We do get a left wing. Cole Schwint, Dalton Duhart, Joe Carroll right now is the favorite. Yeah, it's got to be Joe Carroll. Or Delmore. Which, in fairness, Elliot Delmore is computer generated. He's going to be the better bet. I'm going to take Elliot Delmore. Because, again, we can kind of nearly guarantee as a computer generated player he's going to be a little bit better. So, we have a center, a left wing, a right wing. I need 1 more defenseman, 1 more goaltender, and I get a free pick at some point in between. So if there's someone who's like can't miss, I'm good to go. And there's a goaltender, Colton Ellis. So it's either I take Colton Ellis, Igor Arbazov, Samuel Bolduc, or Jackson Van der Leest, Alexander Yonkas as well. It's obviously going to be Colton Ellis. So, go ahead and take him for our goalie selection. We're allowed to take 1 more defenseman and a 1 free pick. So let's see what we got. There is a defenseman. It's Alex Vlasic. Anthony Honka is also here. Albin Grue. I think it has to be Anthony Honka. I think it has to be. I can't trust that any of those forwards are can't miss. So it's Vlasic or Honka. Or Ryan Johnson, for that matter. He's also a real player. Honka played 18 games in Liga, had no points. Vlasic had 16 points as an 18-year-old in U.S. Central. Johnston in U.S. Central did a little bit better. Or Johnson, I should say. Pretty sure it's an irrelevant pick in terms of their overalls and potentials. I'm going to take Anthony Honka. And now with this last pick, I'm allowed to take whoever the hell I want. Regardless of position. Henri Nikkanen, Kari Pironen, Patrick Pustola, Carson Ballard. Which right now, what I'm looking at is Ballard's the only computer-generated player aside from Mikhail Volchenkov. So Volchenkov had 1 point in the KHL. Ballard at least put up some offense in the junior league. Or the U.S. development system, essentially. The one problem I'm worried about with Volchenkov is that real scouting ranking potentially being in the 200s is a little bit concerning. He's not going to be low elite. He's also an overager. Absolutely not. Badger with attitude. Hell of a name. I'm going with Carson Ballard. He has the best chance to be half decent out of the group. And let's be honest, with the disadvantages you guys have already put me at, I need to be as try-hard as I can wherever I can afford to be. So we traded up once. We never used our trade down. There was no reason to. That draft is highlighted by the fact that we had to trade the number 2 overall pick. Am I done with MLB? No. It's the pinnacle of sports gaming. Why would I be done with MLB? All right. Oh boy, this should be fun. How good are these scouts? Are they worth letting go of? Yeah, you can both go. All right. Fun. So for the re-sign phase, contract duration is a little bit of a rule. And we'll see if we get into no movements and no trades, which is a decent chance of that. So goalie-wise, Hutton's going to stay. I'm probably going to keep Allmark as our backup. Probably. He had a good season. He won't go up to starter. I think we'll keep him for the next year. Dunno. No worries. I mean, you know, it's a damn shame it's not extremely polished, but what are you going to do? I'm going to offer Allmark 1.5 for the next year. Wedgwood's going to go because Luukkonen's obviously going to be our AHL goaltender this year. Sign him to his ELC. And we'll let go of Wilcox and have Johansson be the backup goalie in the AHL just to make sure that Luukkonen is the starter. So we will have to sign a random goalie to be the 5th goaltender. But for the most part, we're good. We're not going to sign Ellis, obviously, since he's a junior league player. Do you find NHL 19 gets boring after a while? Every game gets boring after a while. Defensively, Risto, Dahlin, Montour, Bogosian, Scandella. I'm still going to let go of Jake McCabe. And we're going to hope that there's a half-decent big-name defenseman that we can bring in. So McCabe is on the way out. Anybody else? Matt Tennisballs is on the way out. Bryson signed in real life. I'm actually going to hold off on signing him right now, though. You know, he'll be better suited just not being signed. This dude that we acquired from Tampa, we're going to drop him. Jack Dougherty, we're going to drop. Low 4 at 23 years old is a bit rough. We're going to drop him, too. Loxonen, I'll sign him, but I don't have much faith in medium top 6. But I'll still sign him. Bryson Martin, Maine Mariner, but you're leaving. And I think we're okay on the defensive side of things. Oh, Pominville, I don't know if I'm bringing you back, buddy. You had a really good season last year, but 52 points. Ah, boy, that's a tough one. And then Evan Rodriguez also had a pretty good year. Probably want to bring him back as a depth option. Left wings, Skinner. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We're not allowed to re-sign him. Just get it over with. Get it over with Jeff Skinner. He's gone. Remy Ellie had a pretty bad season. Yeah, 15 points on the bottom line isn't that bad. However, he's not going to get much better, and I think I have options who are going to come up from the AHL that could be better. So we're going to let him go for now. Matt Molson's obviously going. Taylor Lear, I love him, but he's not going to get any better, so he's gone. CJ Smith is going to go too. They might come back in terms of players I need to fill out the AHL, but yeah, I'm good. I'm bringing them back right now. Zemgus Girgensons had 33 points last season, which is not too bad. I might bring him back. Johan Larsson's definitely gone. He was miserable. He had 4 points in half a season. Kevin Porter's gone. What are the free agency rules again? So pretty much I'm only allowed one big signing for forward, defense, and goaltender. Now, big signing means either high overall or big potential. The rest of the players, I'll end up filling out the roster later on. But, Jesus Christ, Matt Tkachuk just mauled somebody. My God. Sean Malone. I mean, again, this is just random AHL depth that I'm not afraid to reshuffle. Danny O'Regan, Chris Coelho, you guys are all gone. Eric Cornell, you're not going to get much better. You're gone too. Marcus Davidson will sign. Low 6 is a terrible potential this year, but we'll still bring him in. I think for the moment, it's just now the big-time signings that we need to worry about. Which big-time signings for us should really be in air quotes. Allmark's back, Luukkonen signed, Davidson signed, Laaksonen signed. That's pretty much all we were looking for. It's just whether or not I want to re-sign certain players here. So again, for defensemen, we're pretty much clear. It's just forwards. With Pominville and Evan Rodriguez. And Zemgus Girgensons. Those are the three. What is Zemgus Girgensons looking for? If he's looking for term, he's not coming back. Only wants a 1-year deal. It's not too bad. Oh boy, I can see, I can't see player role from here, right? No. So, I mean, we know Eichel's going to be a first-line guy for us. Reinhardt's going to be a first-line guy. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Technically, I can afford to bring back these half-decent players. You know, I think if Pominville only wants 1 year... Now, technically, I am allowed to adjust it by 1 year for better or worse. I'm going to drop that to 1 year. 1 year at 2.5 for Pominville, I'm okay with. Evan Rodriguez had a half-decent season. 3 years. Not a big fan of that. How about 2 years at $2 million? And even then, I'm a little bit nervous about that. Oh, Evan, buddy, I don't know. 39 points. Yeah, I'll take the risk on a 2-year deal. If he'll accept $2 million. Then again, he's also an RFA. Now, I knew we weren't going to have any major RFAs to work with this year, which is why I wasn't too worried about mid-season signings. But, you know, I think we might try a little bit, just a little bit of negotiating, which we are allowed to do. I'm going to see if I can drop that to like 1.9. And then, shockingly, I actually think I'm going to try to bring back Zemgus Girgensons. See if I can get him to drop it down to 1.5, though. Girgensons and Rodriguez, for whatever reason, both had good seasons. Pominville's back, Girgensons rejected, Rodriguez accepted. I'm still going to try to bring back Rodriguez. Or Girgensons, excuse me. Rodriguez did sign. We'll still try to bring back Zemgus. I'll give him what he wants. He won't be that bad of a fourth liner for us, and if he has a bad year, it's a 1-year contract, so I'm not too worried. He accepted. So we're good. The major losses here, of course, Jeff Skinner, and a lot of our AHL depth. And I checked those scouts. Don't worry about that. They weren't major player or major people to sign. So don't make Latvia angry at you. That's a fair point. Don't need a bunch of angry Latvians. All right. So upgrading the scouts. Hello, Ronald Wyman. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna suck. Trying to redo all of this. But I need to offer the best scouts, the best deals. Again, there's no excuse for this menu being this slow. Not one bit. It is brutal trying to set up the scouts because of it. Oh boy. Probably only going to go for the A grade scouts. I don't think I'll go for the B grades. Just try to get the best of the best. Save myself a little bit of time. Just a little bit. Old Matt Cullen. And Malik Kuiper will be the last one. So that is 7. I have 2 scouting spots open, so I gotta fire 5 subpar scouts. That's number 1. That's number 2. That's number 3. Number 4. And number 5. There we go. Scouting-wise, we should be fine. Now we get to go to free agency. So Jeff Skinner is the top UFA forward. Sounds about right. Goalie-wise. Here's the issue. Goalie-wise, our goaltending's set. I'm not going to, sign Robin Leonard just to move Hutton. It's not going to be a major difference. We already have a top prospect, but pretty much my only move here is to look for another prospect. So, we'll see who we have here. If there are any familiar names to me that are actually half decent. Farkas and Trudel, though. Ian Scott, yet again a free agent. The Leafs never signed him. It's so weird. Mello Birkin, I mean, I don't exactly want to sign Ian Scott again, but... And then again, I really have no need to sign Ian Scott. I mean, granted, if I do, I'm just going to make sure that he's the backup. Oh, Kaiser's there as well. Joran Van Pottelberg, Joel Dacord. Rusu is there. And about one AHL goaltender last year. Okay. I actually think I'm going to forego my big goaltending signing. So, I am not allowed to sign Jeff Skinner. He's leaving. I mean, technically, technically all we said was that we're not allowed to re-sign him, which we didn't. And technically he's a free agent, so we could kind of skirt the rules there if we wanted to. Or at least the lack of a definition with the rules. Are there any top prospects? Again, anybody out of the draft, I'm going to have no information on whatsoever. The only way I can tell if they're half decent is if they're asking for a little bit more money. So even like Shalene's not going to be that good. It's actually the better way to do this. Is going to be just looking at the top money. So in terms of big name players, I mean, Jake Gardiner looking for 6 years, that's rough. Tyler Myers looking for 5 years, that's a little bit rough. I could try to drop it down to 4. Aside from that, though, there really aren't any top defensemen. Now, in terms of prospects, allow me to take a quick scroll down to about the 925 territory. Alright. Nobody good thus far. Christian Wolanin, unfortunately. Adam Fox, there we go. So I was able to get the game to replicate Adam Fox not signing with the Hurricanes. So we could go for a Jake Gardiner or Tyler Myers, or we can go for Adam Fox, who I can guarantee is the top option. He's better than Sam Marukov. He's better than Niemelainen. He's better than Walford. He's better than Robin Salo. I would know with how much I edit the rosters, so... Yeah, our choices on defense are Adam Fox for a prospect, or we go for a Myers or Gardner, which is not ideal with how much money they're looking for. So I gotta be honest, I think going for Fox is the best way to go. I mean, again, I would love to bring in a better defenseman. That was the plan, but I'll take a look at what the other two, the top two guys are looking for here, because obviously we're not going to sign Strawman. Jake Gardiner, at best, we could get him down to a 5-year deal. In fairness, $4.5, $5 million for a 40-point defenseman isn't that bad. That's really not that bad. 11 power play points last year for the Leafs. Blocks a lot of shots, a lot of hits. Giveaways aren't that bad. You don't want a 38-year-old defenseman making $4.8 million. Shockingly, no. And then Tyler Myers last year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate that you can hit and block shots, but absolutely not. So it comes down to Jake Gardiner or Adam Fox on defense. It's just, do we want a half-decent defenseman now? Or do we want Fox and we go for a little bit for the future, you know? So at least we know the options there. And then forward-wise, I mean, yes, Marner and Point are both there. I mean, it's going to be 4 first-round picks for Mitch Marner as it currently stands, so absolutely not. The most I can drop him down to is 6 years, and I'm pretty sure that is still going to be outrageously expensive. And I actually don't even have the proper picks to do that. So Marner's out. Braden Point we're probably out for as well. Yeah, we're out for Braden Point because we don't have our own second-round pick. So again, we're not allowed to go for Jeff Skinner either, which means we are down to the likes of a 34-year-old Joe Pavelski, who put up a decent 66 points last year. We could drop it down to a 2-year deal. Matt Duchene, William Karlsson, Marcus Johansson. Andreas Jansson's also an RFA. So I'm going to take a look at the top forward prospects right now and see if it's a similar situation with Fox. And see if there's actually a better forward prospect that we should go for. Nikita Gusev. Not quite a prospect, but would be a good signing because of how he consistently tears it up within franchise mode. Okay. Christian Vesalainen wasn't signed by the Jets. I think we're going with youth here, man. Christian Vesalainen, I think, is too good to give up. Anderson Dolan's pretty damn good too, but I'm pretty sure I have Vesalainen as a potentially higher rated guy. I don't know what the Jets are thinking not signing Vesalainen. Just making sure there's nobody else magically here that shouldn't be. Alright, so I'd rate Vesalainen ahead of Anderson Dolan. I know he's better. So it's the same situation on forward and on defense, where we have a good prospect or we can get somebody half decent. Forward-wise, I gotta see, why not get both? Not allowed to. We have rules in place to stop me from cheesing the system. That is why. So again, Joe Pavelski, I mean, I try to knock it down to a 2-year deal. We're looking at $6.5 to $7 million for Joe Pavelski for 2 years. He's a 60-point guy. Yeah. Matt Duchene put up 64 points last year. And again, 6.5. William Karlsson put up 56 last year. I mean, I think the goal has to be Vesalainen and Fox. I think they have to be the targets. Throw our name into the hat, hope we get them, and if not, we go for somebody who's actually half decent. That's really the only move. There's nobody as a free agent right now who's, like, can't miss in terms of, like, actually ready talent. So we're going to go for Vesalainen, and we're going to go for Fox. Hopefully we get them both. If not, I'll still have the opportunity to sign a top-notch guy if they're still there. So the AI's horrible mismanagement of prospects continues, but hopefully it works out in my benefit. So see what happens. I'm gonna have a lot of scouts accepting offers too. Malik Kuiper. Adam Fox has signed. Christian Vesalainen has signed. So we are done for the moment in terms of free agent negotiations. We gotta wait a little bit longer before I'm allowed to fill out the team. But we do get our top 2 targets. Not bad. Not bad. So we are going to sim probably to August 1st and fill out the roster then and there just so that I don't get in trouble with the whole cap situation. So again, that's how we're doing it so that I can't cheese the free agent list. We're handling everything for a reason. Can you sign Anderson Dolan in the middle of next year? I guarantee he was signed. There's no way he wasn't. Guarantee he was signed. Alright, I'll see if any of the top free agent signings are still listed, by the way. They should be. FIFA will tell you what happened in fucking January if you're in December, so. Well, trade-wise, Alec Martinez was dealt to Dallas. Toronto traded Adam Brooks. Reacquired Matt Martin, also picked up Filppula. Montreal gets Sam Gagner and Zach Cassian for a second and Jake Evans. Jason Robertson to New York for Kevin Shattenkirk. Ryan Johnson and Mason McDonald to Colorado for picks and Mark Barberio. And Vegas gets Josh Bailey for a first-rounder and Riley Smith. Free agent signings. Varg, again, I'm handling everything this way for a reason, buddy. Because otherwise, it's too easy. Tyler Myers to Chicago, Gardner to St. Louis, Jordy Ben to the Islanders, Riddick to Nashville. I know, Gobi, I know. But people said, oh, it's more challenging with it. So I'm like, all right. Jake McCabe ended up going to Arizona. Let's see. Spezza to Colorado. Anderson Dolan went to the Rangers. Jeff Skinner went to Florida 6 years alongside Robin Leonard. Not bad. DeZingle to Minnesota. Dan Girardi also went to St. Louis. Cronwall to Anaheim, which is fucking weird. Stempniak to Boston again. God damn it. Ennis to Arizona. Eberle to the Devils. Derek Brassard to Philly. I think that's it. Patrick Maroon to Arizona. Christian Wolanin to Boston. Mrazek to Los Angeles. No word about the two big free agents. Cam Ward to Florida for 2 years. Pavelski went to the Devils for 1 year. Strawman to Chicago. Roman Polak to St. Louis again. Hagelin. There you go. Many same rules as what we're doing right now with Carolina. Makes it more interesting for me. I like a challenge. Can turn off the side. A little television on the side now that Colorado's getting a huge win. Alright, let's fill out this roster. So again, goalie-wise, we need a 5th goaltender for the AHL. Our goaltending is pretty much going to be the same as it was last year. So we need a 5th goaltender. Defensively, now we don't know for sure what we're dealing with here, so I'm pretty much only going to sign AHL guys, but we're going to have to hope for a little bit of development. I have a couple of depth options. Actually, let me see what we're dealing with here. Shut up about Denorfio already. I'll sign who makes sense to sign. Jesus. Dude, maybe if I type the same message over and over again in an annoying fashion, Tugi will adhere to my request. Interesting tactic, Cotton. Let's see if it pulls. Let's see if it works out for him. Let's see if he pulls it off. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I need probably one more depth defenseman, but I'm going to hold off on that front, so it just means that I need forwards. So who do we have right now? Let's see, we have 9 with Sherry. Wow, so we only have 17 forwards, huh? Yeah, it needs to change. So let's bring in a couple of depth forwards. Not enough that kind of, screws up the roster. But so pretty much just exclusively going to look for guys who are looking for two-way deals. Not Pyatt. To be honest, I might even look for veterans, although, don't really know what their overalls are going to be. Go off of asking price. I mean, these guys are still here, but... oh, fuck it, they're still here. All's not going to be that great. I will try to sign Emil Bemstrom. Other teams are in for him. Toropchenko is still there. There are a couple of half-decent prospects who are still here. I mean, I waited a month. If they're still going to be here, then so be it. I don't know how good Soderlund's going to be here. I don't know how good All's going to be either. But we'll go for Toropchenko for the hell of it. No guarantees that we get him. Go for Nate Schnarr, which is a great name. I'll go for Ostap Sheffing as well. And if these teams don't want to sign half-decent young prospects, then by all means, they are more than welcome onto our team. Hronberg. Sign him up too. Funny enough, I'll be sending an offer to Matt Strome. And this will get us up to 41 contracts. Yeah, like Nick Henry or Ivan Lodnia will be the targets otherwise, and I gotta go back and offer a goalie a deal. Son of a bitch. Keep forgetting. 5th goaltender. Who's it gonna be? Ian Scott's a bit of a risk, depending on how good he is, but I also know he's probably the top free agent goalie prospect, but he's still there, so... Yeah, I mean, fuck it, he's still there. Teams have had a chance to sign him. I'm going for him. Otherwise, I'd go for Van Pottelberg. But if he's still going to be there, we're going to go after him. And we should pretty much be good to go. I'm going to have to sort out the rest of the roster in the preseason, but still... Toropchenko signs, Bemstrom rejected, went to the Rangers, Schnarr signs, Strome, Safin, Olsen, Hronberg, and Ian Scott. Alright, cool. So, we end up getting Ian Scott because the Leafs are terrible. Oh, boy. Alright. Now, in terms of deciding what the hell the goal is going to be for Season 2, who the hell knows? I don't even know if we're going to do Season 2 now. We shall see. Come on, get me to the preseason. I want to see what this roster looks like. Thank you. Let's see what we're dealing with. Goal for Season 2 is to win a game. 75% win rate against the top 3 teams. Just use your first round pick on a player who's like... Cody's not giving up on the whole draft the worst player. There's no way I'm doing that. Oh, God. So again, goalie-wise, we are fine. With Hutton, Allmark, Luukkonen, Scott, Johansson. Defense. 2, 3, 4. Ah, fuck. So Pilot became a top 6 defenseman, so our defense is set. Oh, God. Not to mention we have Hunwick there. So the AHL defense is Stevens, Loxonen, Hickey, Borgen, Nelson, Fox. I need 2 depth defensemen. Alex, buddy. What's going on? How'd the stream go? Back to NHL, indeed. It was financially requested. It's like, well. I guess that's where we are. So I'm not going to set a goal for the season until we know what this roster looks like, because I'm not going to do anything that's clearly not going to happen. Unfortunately, I can't use any of these top 3, because I wouldn't be allowed to play them in the proper role. So... I know Gavrikoff's not that good. He's just the guy that just signed with the Blue Jackets. It's probably going to be better at this point to just look for a veteran. Any of these 5th rounders aren't going to be that good. It's going to be like medium 7th. Jan Ruda is top 6, but he's not even looking for that much. Xavier Ouellet. Could be signed. Or we go for the likes of Taylor Fadoon, Brad Hunt, Marty Marincin, Seidenberg, Prosser, Gryba, Bartkowski, Zach Redmond, Stephen Kampfer, Dalton Prout, Rosofsky, Davidson. Ryan Murphy won AHL Defenseman of the Year last year, so we'll bring him in as a depth on a depth contract. Jesus Christ, they're all here. All the 700Ks. They're all here. Frankie Corrado, Rob O'Gara. Jesus, I don't even think it matters at this point. My God. I'm going to go back over to... Let's go for Zach Redmond because he's on the Rochester roster anyway, so this will get him off of that roster after this season. Let's see what we're dealing with forwards. And then we're pretty much going to be able to set up this roster for Season 2, which it's not looking great. Not to mention cap-wise, if I sign anybody here, it needs to be for a half-decent contract. It's just how it works. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... So let's see, top line, second line, third line, and then the fourth line could be Nylander or Vesalainen, but I'd prefer to probably play them in the AHL to start. So I need another fourth liner. At the very least, I need another fourth liner. Don't know who that's going to be. Or in fairness, a second line option, if they're still there, would be nice. Actually, it wouldn't be because I can't play third liners below the line. Fuck. See, I need a fourth liner. So we're looking at the likes of Andrew Kopp, Curtis Lazar. So Mike McCarron, Phil DeGiuseppe, Andrew Kopp, who's an RFA. DeGiuseppe played in the AHL last year. Ugh. Kopp, Lazar, both RFAs, Taylor Lear, and that's it. So how expensive is Andrew Kopp going to be as an RFA? He only had 20 points last year. We had Taylor Lear on roster last year. Had 37 points in 69 AHL games. And to be honest, signing Blandisi to have him be the healthy scratch is not a terrible idea. So we're at the very least going to sign Blandisi. And then out of this group, can I get Andrew Kopp without having to give up anything? Nope, it would have to require draft picks. Shit. Although I am allowed to drop it down to 1 year. Winnipeg, can I steal Andrew Kopp off your hands? That would be great. Do I have Blitz the League too? I don't, because it's stupidly expensive for no reason whatsoever. Alright, see if these signings go through. Kopp accepted, Blandisi accepted. Alright, so we got Andrew Kopp for nothing, which is nice. Murphy and Redmond both signed. Cool. So let's double check how many forwards we have signed. And we'll see if we're good to set up this team for the next season. Although I am going to have to sign one more forward no matter what. So again, that is 9 with Okposo, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, I should sign 1 or maybe 2 more forwards anyway. So I have to do the whole signing a veteran for an expensive deal workaround, as I'll call it. But it's fair game, damn it. And I stand by that. Who's a veteran at this point? Matt Hendricks, Chris Thorburn. Let's give Matt Molson. Let's give Matt Molson more money. Steven Gianna, Ryan Garbett. Let's give Matt Hendricks some money. Got no choice. That look on his face is like, really? You're giving me this amount of money? Do you have Pimp My Ride too? I don't, because they didn't make it. It's going to take a while. Got to get to about 8 million. Roughly. 7. We'll be fine. Sign him for the season on that front. And again, I could probably Use one more half-decent defenseman. Or a forward, I should say. Who is an AHLer. Patrick Virta is there. Oscar Steen. Chekovich, Jolly, Nurmi, McGrew, McGregor. Let's see what we got here. 5th round pick. Do we have like a 3rd or a 4th round pick in this group? Because that would be ideal. The answer is no. But Virta's done relatively well for us in the Finnish series. He would be on an ELC, so that's absolutely not going to happen. All of them would be on an ELC. So, good sign, Zach Ronaldo, for the memes. And I will. Congratulations, Rochester. You have a face puncher. You have a face puncher. This team is going to be very bad again. Call it a hunch. This team's not going to be very good. At the very least, though, we can set up this roster as we care to. Goddamn menu lag is the bane of my existence. There we go. Look at that. So the goaltending this year, yet again, is going to be Hutton and Allmark. AHL is Luukkonen and Scott. Johansson will actually be the healthy scratch. Might even just call him up and park him on the NHL roster. The defense is going to be Risto, Dahlin, Montour, Bogosian, Scandella, and Pilot with Matt Hunwick as the depth, which doesn't sound like a good idea. But guess what? I have no alternatives. There's no other options. Actually, I'll send down Johansson again. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. Yeah, those are the 7. And then forward-wise, we have 10, 11, 12. But again, I think I'm going to send down Nylander. Have him play in the AHL one more year. We'll have Kopp, Blandisi as the healthy scratch. It also listed Vesalainen as a depth forward, but again, we'll have him stay in the AHL. So it's 10, 11, 12, and 13. So let's see what this roster's looking like, shall we? The problem is with Fog of War, we're not exactly going to know all of the overalls. But we do know it's not going to be good. So the 4th line this year is set. It's going to be Kopp, Thompson, and Wilson. With probably Scott Wilson at center. The 3rd line, I might even start it off as Sobotka, Gergensons, Okposo. I think that might not be a bad way to start it off. And then I think I have to have Reinhardt with Eichel. I think I have to. I might even start Middlestad on that top line. So I don't know how good Rodriguez is as a forward. It said he wasn't that bad, but I just don't know if I can trust it. Maybe we go Middlestat, Rodriguez, Pominville, Sherry, Eichel, Reinhardt. Oh, what's the challenge? To turn the team into a winner. Stone, what's up, man? This team is very ungood. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit to rebuild them with these limitations. Between Bogosian and Scandella, as far as who I want, I think it's going to be Scandella and then Pilot Bogosian. Oh, God. Let's see. Smalls, what's up, man? We're doing all right. That's going to be the NHL lineup. We don't know for sure what the overalls are going to be. And down the AHL, if we go best lines, it does have Vesalainen and Nylander as top liners. Going to take out Johansson for Ian Scott. The defense is Fox, Murphy, Redmond, Nelson, Hickey, and Borgen. Let me see if it's worth taking out Redmond for somebody. I guess I'd rather try to develop Loxonen. And Murphy can stay. So, that works. Works for me. Forwards. Do we need to take out Dalton Smith? I do. Gotta get this dude in the lineup. Center-wise with Kyle Olsen, he can stay. Tyler Randall is going to sit for Ostap Savine. Matt Hendricks is going to sit for Turupchenko. And I think we're good. Outside of Davidson replacing Ogilvy. So, I mean, the AHL, I can't really say they have a ton of positives to their lineup. It's mainly the Vesalainen and Alex Nylander show right now. Adam Fox is there, though, too. So, I do kind of want to at least get to the start of the season to see how good this team is for sure, but it's a little bit rough. Losing Jeff Skinner and then not being able to use that number 2 overall pick really, really hurt us heading into Season 2. Imagine this team with Jeff Skinner and Kaapo Kakko. Be looking a hell of a lot better. Not to mention we would have had to have made trades to, offload some people we couldn't afford to bring back. So let me get the scouting set up again, and then I guess we'll full on discuss what the goal will be for the season. Oh god, Pacific, Central, Atlantic. Alright, one of you two need to switch to the Metro. It's going to be Martin Jaffrey. You'd think Matt Cullen would be very familiar with the Metro, but apparently not. NHL, oh my god, Metro, Jesus. It's just annoying. Pacific, Central, Metro, Atlantic. AHL is Pacific, oh my god. Pacific, North, Atlantic. Alright, well, someone's got to switch to the AHL North. Not the AHL North. North, Pacific. Someone's got to switch to the Central. And it's still going to be you, Mr. Berard. Nope. Not that one. AHL Central. All UFA players who don't score more points than last year must go to free agency. That's a tad bit harsh. That's a tad bit harsh. Alright, so we got our 4 NHLs. Technically, we have our AHLs. I need somebody to switch to the Q. It's going to be one of you two, and that's going to be, even though you're a C, Weston Riley. You get to go to the Q. Congratulations. To the JHL. Am I going to do a second season? Tempted. Tempted. I don't know what I'd switch to otherwise. Feeling a little bit of MLB, feeling a little bit of FIFA. I'm not sure. I might just stick with it. Alright, I need a US East and a US West. You're really good in the US East. I want to go to bed, but I don't want to miss this, so please end. I mean, again, I'm going to upload this to the YouTube side of things at the very least, so. US East. US East. And who wants to go to US West? You do, don't you? Either one of you. Who's better in the AHL Pacific right now? That guy is. You're going to US West. Isn't the NHL roster update at the end of every month? Not quite. Like, and I haven't heard with certainty, but I would imagine there's going to be a roster update within a week, 2 at the most. There has to be. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, W, O, Q, one of each US. Only thing I'm missing is a Finnish scout. Which one of you two wants to go to the Finlands? You can go to the Finlands. Does Jackson Van Der Leest play in USA West? He doesn't. He plays in the W. That's right. I know. Sold your pun. Sad. Take it easy. We'll catch you later. Alright, so our scouting's good to go. So I guess it is just that question of, do we go with the second season? Right here tonight. Do we go with the second season? I think we might have to. It's just a matter of what the hell the challenge/challenges would be for the year. Which, ugh. I mean, you can look at this team And you can tell what challenges would literally be like, okay, we're never going to hit that, so we're not doing it. You know, that type of deal. Convert one of your defensemen into a center. You literally can't do that. I mean, I can play him there, but that's just not a fun challenge. Gonna mark that down so I can come back tomorrow. Not a bad way. Sad, in fairness, if you go direct... I'll tell you right now, the live recording is at 2 hours and 11 minutes. So have it be 2 hours and 11 minutes as opposed to the 2:31. We had a little bit of time in between starting the recording and starting the stream. So 2:11. Challenge finish. Actively tank. Oh boy, the problem is we might have some players who might do too well for us to actively tank. Connor Sherry might be able to hit 40 in the top 6 this year. The Jason Pominville, who the fuck knows what he's going to do this year. He hit 52 last year. And then who knows how good Middlestat and Rodriguez are going to be. The defense is a little bit weaker. After I got rid of Jake McCabe so I could have a chance at a good defenseman. There weren't any good defensemen, but we did end up with Adam Fox, so. I mean, I'd argue that while the team is weaker, technically, we might be in a better spot outside of losing Jeff Skinner, which is nothing I can do about that. Exactly, that's why it's a challenge. Again, just actively tank. How many UFAs do I have? I'll check. Maybe we will leave that as a challenge. UFA is heading in the next year. Pominville, Bogosian, Scandella, Sherry, Hunwick, Sobotka, Wilson. So put it this way. I wouldn't be losing anybody that I wouldn't want to lose. Odds are the only person I'd want to re-sign out of that group is Connor Sherry. So that being a punishment isn't necessarily going to work. Trade that player to a team for another player that also played for the same junior team. No. Alright. I need good challenge ideas or we're not running a season 2 tonight, so let's go. I want actually good challenge ideas. The idea to actively tank isn't a terrible one. Again, whether or not it's a team challenge and or a player challenge is the question. Pick 2 rivals out of the division. You have to win 2 season series. I mean, I'd pick Detroit and Ottawa, and even that's a toss-up. It'd be better to spin the wheel and just be like, you gotta win 2 season series against the division rival. Oh, God. See if we get any half-decent ideas. If not, I'll put this up on the YouTube side of things, and we'll let YouTube decide. Finish better than last year's record. If you fail, you cannot have more than 1 first-line player above an 85. So basically, have a better record than last year, or I have to trade Sam Reinhart, is what you're telling me. Do we not think that's a little bit too harsh? Have a better record than last year, or trade Sam Reinhart. That might be a little bit too much of a... Like, I don't even know if that's fair, basically. Have a positive win-loss against New York, New Jersey teams. I like the state rivalry. I like the state rivalry. It's not too bad. Goalie challenge for how many shutouts? I mean, that would legitimately be a challenge just because I don't know how many shutouts Carter Hutton's going to get behind this defense. I'd say fair. How is that fair? We actively have a worse team than last year, but have a better record or lose Sam Reinhart? How is that a fair deal? That makes no sense at all. We have an actively worse team than last year, but if you have a worse record... actively worse team than last year, but if you don't have a better record, you have to lose your only other top-line player. I'm pretty sure that's just you guys being difficult for the sake of being difficult. Have a winning record against all division opponents, or you have to keep Okposo. A deal where I have to keep Okposo is not a bad one, as far as the punishment. But as far as having a winning record against all division opponents, woof. Tampa won the Cup last year. The Leafs technically won the division. What I meant is you can't have more than one line have players above an 85. That's the issue, though. One line player, like AJ, that wouldn't be a challenge because where the hell, AJ, that wouldn't work then anyway. One good line, that's what we have now. I'm not going to have an 85 rated player on the second line. Where's an 85 rated player going to come from on the second line? The only way that happens is if I sign someone next offseason, but, you know, middle stat somehow becomes an 85. So that's not going to work. Have Sherry have more assists than Skinner last year? So Skinner had, what, 34 assists last year? Sherry had Sherry had more assists. Well, Grant, no, that's middle stat. My bad. Thought I hit Sherry. I hit up. Thank you, menu lag. Sherry had 25 assists last year, so saying Connor Sherry needs to have 9 more assists last year, or 9 more assists this year than last year, I'm not even sure if that's exactly a challenge. Not to mention, I mean, do we want to commit to having Sherry play ahead of Middlestat? The issue is we just don't know how good Middlestat is because of Fog of War. For goalies have a save percentage above 920. Only way that happens is with EA Voodoo. The point is, we want these challenges to be something that could realistically happen. Carter Hutton having above a 930 or a 920 when he only posted a 908 last year, and our team is technically worse on paper. The only way that happens is EA Voodoo. It's the only way that happens. I cannot swap Gergensons. He's a third line guy. He must play on the third line as per the rules. So, AJ, the problem is next year we're not going to have more than one good line anyway. I see what you're saying, but the point is it's not a challenge because that's going to be the way it is anyway. So here, if you have a bad season record, then you have to commit to having a team that you're going to have anyway. See, that doesn't work. So, I mean, the only ones that send Gergensons to the All-Star game. Have your pick be in the top 5. If you fail, you have to sign someone to a max contract for 1 season. I mean, is that, you know, is the pick in the top 5, is that based off of us actively tanking? Or do we also have to factor in if the lottery fucks me over? Sure, it could happen 1 year. I'm going to send him with an 80 wrist shot accuracy. I mean, Rodriguez or Middlestat probably have a half-decent shot. We just don't know the full stats. I gotta be honest. I'm not really thinking any of these challenges are up to par. If Eichel's not your best point man, you must cut him. It's gonna be a no from me. 1 season after, if Jeff Skinner doesn't score 35 goals, you have to let him go. I don't think I'm risking Eichel the next season. Even though there's a very good chance Eichel is going to be our highest point guy. The only guy that could probably top him is Sam Reinhart. And if Reinhart was close, I would just actively then take Reinhart off of the power play and put him on the forward, or fuck, I'd at least take him off the power play. I couldn't take him off the top line. He stays there. Next to Eichel all year. So, I don't know, man. Your first line must have a combined 150 points. Well, let's see. Eichel hit 69 last year. Reinhart also hit 69. That is potentially possible, based off of whether or not it's Sherry or Middlestat who ends up winning that first line spot, but then the question is, what's the punishment? That's the real question. What is the punishment? Because at the end of the day, there's no reward aside from, oh, cool, you hit your goal. You don't have to face the punishment. You see what I mean? Alright, I don't know if we're too indecisive on challenges here. I think we are. Trade a second to the worst team in your division. If not second worst. I think we're going to hold off on Season 2. Because I'm not particularly seeing any challenges that I'm overly interested in. Or that I think make a ton of sense. If your team receives less penalty minutes... Wait, if your team... Power play 4 versus penalty minutes again. If your team... So basically... If our team has discipline, then sign a face puncher. I think we might go off of whatever YouTube comments end up with this video. I think we might do it that way.